A little bit and play with this idea, continue this idea of thinking about the chain of motion through the skeleton, right? This idea of how one bone moves the next bone, and that when we're moving our skeleton, we're relying on that movement through the skeleton, and seeing that, you know, like I said yesterday, this idea of the marionette, that the nervous system is the puppeteer, the muscles are the strings, and the skeleton is the puppet. The skeleton is what determines what movements are possible, as we talked about yesterday, in terms of variety and constraint. And when we're moving, we still need to, like I said yesterday, kind of reconcile each movement with the whole skeleton, right? And so when we look at people moving through space, in this three-dimensional space, this gravitational environment that we're in, what we're doing is we're not moving our muscles. We're using our muscles to move our skeleton, right? And that's why, I mean, like in the SPIFFER categories, that's why sequence comes first. Because I think as Feldenkrais teachers, it has to come first for us in our understanding of movement. And this is just a little bit of a recap. When we're talking about sequence, there are three things that we want to talk about. The transmission of force through the skeleton. Okay? And so when we say transmission of force, I get my markers. Say transmission of force, what I mean is that we're really looking at how one piece moves the next piece, moves the next piece. And as I said yesterday, that can happen in three ways. Path has to do with the line of movement in space. So sequence is the chain of motion through the skeleton. Initiation is where the movement comes from, where it starts, the first part that moves. And path is the line of movement in three-dimensional space. And path has to do with everything that has to do with space. So I'm going to give you Larry's introduction to space. Not spaciness, I hope, but we'll see. So space is made up of directions. There are 8 directions. We're going to talk about 6 for the moment. Forward and back, right and left, down and up. So those are the 6, excuse me, the 6 cardinal directions. All right? When you put 2 directions together, right and left, and this is all written down in what I'm giving you if you want to watch. Or you can watch the video and watch it later. Right and left, when I put those together, I get a line. Or an axis. There are 3 axes. So right and left makes the horizontal axis, up and down makes the vertical axis, forward and back makes the frontal axis. We get 3 lines. So here we have X, Y, and Z axis. Right, which you all know and love, don't you? Anyway, so this is a very Cartesian model, right, for the moment. There are other ones, but this works fine. When I put 2 axes together, right, so 2 axes, let's see, forward, right and left, and up and down, that's 4 directions, I get a plane. So 4 directions, 2 axes make a plane. There are 3 planes, the frontal plane, which we'll think of as the plane of the wall, right? Then if I put forward and back and right and left together, I get the plane of the table or the plane of the floor, right? And then if I put forward and back and up and down together, I get the plane of the wheel. The sagittal plane as in Sagittarius. So those are the three planes. So, you know, when we're looking at movement, we can look at how someone moves in relationship to those directions and those planes as a kind of reference system. Because no matter what, when we're going to talk about how someone's moving in space, we have to have a reference system.